Hi guys, so I hope you're well. For the last week or so I've been testing the Sony SmartBand, the SWR10, and I've got to say I'm quite impressed. Now whilst I'm into my gadgets and stuff, I'm not really big into these fitness bands and smartwatches as yet. But the SmartBand from Sony seems to be persuading me to get involved a little bit more. Now whilst obviously I want to keep fit, I'm not really into it. I don't need to know exactly what calories I'm burning and what gradient hill I'm on and things like that. But this is very, very powerful. It's quite discreet on the wrist, and the LifeLock app that goes with it gives you a lot of information, and not just on fitness. It tracks every element of your life really, as to how much communication's been going on, what the weather's like, how long you spent on the social networks, and it logs it all in a really nice graphic, user-friendly way. And there's lots of scope to the app in terms of what you can control, setting targets and things like that, and we'll come on to that in our full review, which should be available within the next week or so, I would have thought, once I've finalized my testing with this. But I've been quite pleased in terms of the actual comfort level. It feels nice and comfortable on the wrist, and even if you're not used to wearing something on your wrist, after a few days you can get to grips with it quite easily. What I have found is that I tend to wear the sort of bulky part on the underside of my wrist, so not on the top of my wrist, and I have the sort of silver strap piece on the top, simply because what I found is actually, most specifically at night when I was in bed and perhaps wearing some clothes, the top, the chunkier part, seemed to catch and restrict my movement a little bit, whereas on the underside of my wrist I didn't feel that it was restricting me quite as much. So that's one little thing, but to be honest, a lot of people can't really tell or don't notice it because it's actually quite thin. Of course, you've got the little module in there. That's what controls it all. The wristband just really holds it in a way, you know, that is comfortable. You could have it in your pocket if you want, but the idea is on the wrist straps, and there's a variety of colors that will be coming available in the different straps. One thing that this is waterproof. It's IP rated, so you can step in the shower and do the washing up and get it wet and go running with it. Now that's one thing that's kind of weird and slightly freaky. Maybe I just haven't got over this, but getting in the shower or something with this on just doesn't feel quite right, having technology still strapped to you. But it works, nothing's gone wrong with it. Battery life on this has lasted me 4.5 days since the last charge, so I'm pretty impressed with that. And I haven't been right next to the phone the whole time or anything like that. I've been putting my phone down, going outside, going out of range. So I've been quite impressed with how long that's lasted. You know, 4 days I think is an acceptable battery life for sure. If it lasted longer, great, but I think at least it's not every day. It has disconnected a few times from my phone for reasons I'm not too sure of, even if the phone is right next to me. It sometimes pairs up automatically again, other times it sort of drops off. But because it's NFC, you just touch it once and you're straight back on. But the big thing is, even if you come disconnected, this stores your data. So you can go a couple of days really without it being reconnected, and then it'll pull it back up to the LifeLock application. So like I say, we'll be doing a full review on this very soon. And I think it's going to be quite a positive one, depending on your circumstances, whether you'd fork out for it. I think the biggest disappointment really is it works with Android 4.4 at the moment, and it's a bit of a limited market for it for particular devices and things, but they're well on the road here with the right idea. From my fairly limited experience of all the different fitness apps out there and SmartBands, it's all sort of in its infancy a little bit. I think this has got quite a lot going for it, even though it doesn't have a screen. So be sure to check out our full review soon, and I'll see you all in the next video. Thanks for watching.